Afternoon. How are we all doing? Afternoon, Ian. Post hoc, ergo propter hoc. Afternoon. That's a complicated name. Afternoon, Peter. Crum. Julio. John. Monkey. Emac. Gregors. JC. Yotko. FTNet. James. Not sure what your name was. Lots of numbers and letters combined. Afternoon, David. Sarah. Brian. Virginia. How are we doing? Right. Nothing much banked today. Nothing much happened today, really. CAD Swiss has gone sideways, down, back to where it was. We have had a reversal alert on that, but not really gone anywhere. Just holding back in the previous area. Swiss franc had a little bit of a rally, which is easing off a little now, but nothing much going on, really, is it? No news day. So there's no news today. We've had Lagarde speaking at 2. Nothing exciting, as you can see, said here. No guidance on anything, really. Nothing this morning. A little bit of noise out of OPEC, but nothing else. So that's pretty much it. No news. So no news unexpected. No news forecast. Might as well go home. Do something else. Because there's no news. So yeah, basically nothing. Got out the DAX this morning. We had a DAX hedge this morning. So I got out of the longs there on that pullback, looking for a new leg down. We didn't get one. We just went sideways. So I've just got out of that before the open. Perfectly timed, actually. So up about $600. Ignore that because that was a manual trade. This one was a manual one, so it won't show up in the EA. But I think it was where are we? 585 banked 400. Oh, yeah, a couple of $100 basically. So nothing to write home about today. Crappy session. Konnichiwa, Paolo, Fletch, Dion, afternoon. How did my Black Friday sales go? Yeah, not bad. Quite a few people ordered stuff. I don't sell a lot. It's not my job. It's just extras, basically. So, but yeah, a lot more people ordered over the last few days than normal, which isn't a lot. But yeah. I've extended it as well. So I've extended the sale because it's Cyber Monday. I forgot about Cyber Monday. So I've extended the sale to tomorrow evening. If anybody wants any stuff, it's going on for another couple of days. Because what normally happens, and I remember this from last year, I ran a Black Friday sale last year, and all I got on Monday was, when I turned the sale off, was, hey, are you not doing any Cyber Monday deals? And I was like, it takes a hell of a lot of time to actually change the pricing across everything, turn off everything and do everything. And then I had to turn it all back on again because everybody wanted Cyber Monday deals. So I suddenly remembered this morning it's Cyber Monday. So I thought I'll just extend it for 2 days. Then I've only got to do it once, which is good. Right, so yeah, no news today. DAX was just didn't do a lot really, basically. So that was your open. I got tagged both ends, and we just basically did that. Excuse me. So we're back where we started. So that's where we opened, and that's where we are. So we have gone absolutely nowhere all day. Load of crap. But I'm just closing out my DAX on the other platform. Nowhere. So yeah, ADRs, we've got 1 euro odd. We've got 1 minute to the open. We've got just a minute. Let's watch the open first. and see what the US indices do. So yeah, US indices today basically not really gone anywhere. I had a loss on the S&P this morning. I had to take. I completely forgot it was it was early close on Friday because obviously I wasn't here. So the EA tried to close the trades out, and obviously the market was shut. So I had to hold those. So I had to take the hedge loss this morning. So I've taken my that loss should have been on Friday, but I had to take it this morning. So a bit of a pain in the backside. Wow, Dow's just suddenly had a massive rally pre-market. Look, someone's just dumped a big order in on the Dow. Wow, don't know what that was. So there's your, geez, look at the Dow. Okay, long on the Dow. Long on the the NASDAQ. S&P should be long as well, but that's because that's closed out today. I've already traded the S&P, so it's not going to trade it again today. Jesus, that market just went mental. One sec. So long on the NASDAQ, long on the Dow. Wow, that was a big order came in pre-market there. Obviously, we haven't gone anywhere all morning, which is what I was going to say before it flew. So yeah, big rally there. NASDAQ TP hit 2R. NASDAQ done. God, that was easy today, wasn't it? Okay, so NASDAQ TP1 hit. Why did that only take one trade? Oh, what's happened there? Only got one trade on. That moved too fast. It only managed to get one of those orders on. The second buy limit got cancelled, unfortunately. The other platform, I got both those on. So just didn't manage to get both of them on this one, unfortunately. So Dow's done. Sorry, NASDAQ's done. If you're on the S&P, if you did manage to get that on, I'd be surprised if you got that on today. You'd be just shy of 2R. So huge moves. A lot of volatility came in there. God, that's a bit of a difference to the DAX this morning, isn't it? Like a snail. Putting back really loads of volume coming in. Really volatile market today. So just be careful. We'll have a look. We'll just watch this 5-minute opening range going, and then we'll have a look at where we're potentially going on these today. See if we can get a clean break on the Dow. Dow's pulling back at the open. I'm not surprised. There was a massive order came in just before the market opened there. Somebody wanting to jump the gun and get ahead of the game today. Exciting open. I got two of my mates to buy SIH and trade dashboard. Well done. That probably makes up about 20% of the sales then. There's a few more than that, actually. There's quite a few people actually ordered over the weekend. I haven't been looking at it because I've obviously not been here. Okay, so good job that hit 2R because that's retraced 100% of that opening range. Dow's back inside that pre-market 5-minute range. DAX coming back down. So that's just a big whippy old order that went in this morning. A mess. Afternoon, Burke, Day Trader FX. Day Trader FX, I bought the lot. Thank you. All of it? What are you going to do with all of it? My SAH put a buy limit order on the NAS. Yeah, moved too fast. So by the time the EA got to trigger the order, the price had gone past it. Nothing you can do about that. Your orders can only be placed as fast as your terminal and your broker will allow. If the price goes faster than your terminal and your broker, you won't get the order on. One of the downsides of trading the open, unfortunately, sometimes, and it's usually when we get candles like that, where we're closing the candle pre-market right at the high, you're just not going to get those orders on. I only got one of the two on myself. Lucky to get that one on. Got both on over there, but obviously stopped out in the second half already. So just the 2R on that and a break even on the second half. Right, Dow pulled back all the way inside. Let's have a quick look at the US indices and see where we're potentially going with these today. So we are out of the, last week, we broke out of the recent highs on the Dow. So this is the area we were looking at for resistance, which we broke and we held, and we didn't go anywhere for 2 days over Thanksgiving. So next upside target on this is that monthly high. We've got a triple top at around about ADR as well. So to the upside, put that high in as well. Somewhere around there, we've got an old sort of triple top, which is just shy of ADR. So upside target on the Dow today, if it breaks up, would be ADR basically, which will be that next resistance to the upside. Downside target obviously is going to be the low from Friday and the low from Thursday, which is kind of the open on Thursday. So those are both within ADR today to the downside. S&P. So we've broken out of that monthly high. So we got this sort of double top up there, which is way beyond ADR, 175 ADR. So first target to the upside on the Dow, on the S&P rather, is going to be last week's high, which is the high from Wednesday. So Thanksgiving, obviously, and Friday, no movement. So you'll be looking at the high from Wednesday. Doesn't look like that's happening, does it? S&P breaking down, so is the NASDAQ. So yeah, downside target, very hard to pick a downside target. Obviously, we're down below Friday and Thursday's low already, which is what we've rejected. So you got a double bottom there, that area there. So this propulsion gap really to the downside, I would look at initial target. Failing that, probably ADR. NASDAQ pre-market low basically today. Euro Swiss just hit ADR. I'll look at the ADRs in a minute. So yeah, quite tricky downside today. So obviously the lows from Wednesday, really, we can discount Thanksgiving and Friday. So for support and resistance purposes, you're looking at Wednesday's high and low initially is where you're going to find the order sitting, which is just above that high, the low from Tuesday. So which is that resistance propulsion gap there. So within ADR to the downside, you're looking Wednesday low and Tuesday low from last week. Dow's stuck inside at the minute. So no trade on the DAX. The 5 minute opening. Can't read today. No trades on the S&P. Range is too big on the S&P. Your range on the NASDAQ, if you didn't take the pre-market, is probably too big as well. 500, yeah, you're not going to get any trades on that either. So tricky open today, bit of a whipsaw. A lot of volume coming in. So we'll watch the Dow. See if we can get break on the Dow, but very volatile. Beauty scalp short on the NASDAQ. Good job. Prop rules are just ridiculous. You may not exit a trade less than 2 minutes FTMO or 1 minute the trading pit. Yeah, absolute bull poo. It's all designed to make you fail. They know this. They're basically the reason FTMO put that rule in place is to stop people going on the 1 minute charts, just going in with 50% risk and just getting a 3R risk reward within a minute on a spike at news and passing evaluation. So they don't let you trade the news anyway, but at the open, for example, as I just made there, $360. Oh, no, you can't make money like that. Yes, you can. I just did it. It's all just designed to make you fail. Or to stop you making money, basically. You're not ready to make you fail. It's designed to stop you making money, isn't it? That's what all the rules are for prop. I've given up with prop. I've had enough with prop. I made good money out of it, and I'm just fed up with it now. It's too dodgy, I think, prop. I think we're going to find a lot of these companies are going to fall by the wayside very quickly over the next 6 months or so. The big ones will still be there, the big money makers, but a lot of these smaller ones, I think they're going to struggle. A lot of people losing faith in prop and using their own money. The problem with prop is decent traders have made money using prop. What they've done is they've taken that money, they've started trading their own accounts and realized it's a lot easier if you're not stuck with a 5% drawdown rule. Dow is just attempting a break short. NASDAQ is attempting to break long. Really tricky market this is today. Very, very jittery. See if we can get a break in one direction or the other, and then we can decide where we're going to go on the Dow. So, forgetting these 2 days, which are obviously bank holidays, for the Dow, I mean, today's pre-market low. I suppose you could count that, really. It's whether there's going to be orders sitting there. This is really close. That's 1R to the downside. So you're looking at 2R to the downside on that open to get down to the low from 2 days ago. It's just too close, isn't it? See where we go. See if we get hedged on it. Yeah, hedged on Dow. Okay, so I'll come back to that later. So yeah, I'll have a look at that in a bit. Just let that run, see where it goes. It really can't decide at the moment. So my Forex funds is back apparently. Is it? Nah. It's not. It's gone. Unless he's changed his name. And if he has changed his name, you do not want to be dealing with companies like that. Look at this whippy nightmare today. Look at the Dow. Just toying with the idea of shutting those shorts. I got to give it a bit of time. Yeah, I'm just watching the S&P rejecting these lows and the NASDAQ as well. Wrong one. NASDAQ rejecting these lows and trying to rally higher. If that takes the S&P with it, the Dow will probably go as well. DAX is pushing. We might get a nice run. And that's a very small risk. Can't really pick a direction on this yet. S&P looks bullish at the minute. NASDAQ not really giving any clues at the minute either. Thing that concerns me about all these indices at the moment is they are all due a massive drop. We haven't had a profit take move on this entire month yet. And I just get the feeling we're due a big correction at some point. I'm going to leave that on. I'm going to leave that running for a minute and see where we go. Afternoon, Rajiv. Really strange opens. Yeah. This morning and now the US indices, yeah. A lot of volume coming in today, obviously, because it was very, 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 very light trading Thursday and Friday. So this is just a big dump of orders. So you kind of need to give it a little bit of time. I mean, it's great. NASDAQ was straight up into target, but you kind of need to give it a little bit of time for the market to settle and pick a direction. This is just volume coming in at the moment and not really any directional bias. So we need to give it a bit of time. Right. ADRs today, we've got 2 euro odd. So that's just popped down into ADR. This is the propulsion gap test. So we looked at this one this morning. I've had 2 trades on this in the last month. We're really, really, really range bound. So this week's news, haven't gone through it yet, but we've got nothing today and nothing tomorrow. We've got Bullock speaking tomorrow morning, and we've got consumer confidence for the US, which doesn't really tend to do an awful lot. Can do, but hit and miss as to whether they need to dump a load of US, basically. But so the first news we've got this week is the New Zealand dollar interest rate and the inflation figures for the Aussie, which are Wednesday morning. Then we've got the press conference for the New Zealand dollar, which is going to give us a directional bias. The New Zealand unemployment rate is going through the roof at the moment. So we are increasing by around about a third, a quarter at the moment, which puts real strain on them not being able to increase that interest rate. Inflation is coming down, but it's still way higher than everybody else in the world. And their interest rate is higher than everybody else in the world as well, which means basically they're doing the worst job of the lot. So when that goes up, that drives up unemployment, which means they need to bring this down, which they can't do as long as that is going up. And it's just coming down a little bit at the moment. So I doubt very much we will get anything but a 5.5 from the New Zealanders on Wednesday. But we need to be prepared for a shock. As you can see, they don't often deviate from forecast. It's quite rare. So I wouldn't imagine we'll get much difference there. It won't probably be bullish or bearish, but we will probably get a big move off of it. So if you look at something like the euro odd, where we are at the moment, we're kind of bang in the middle of this range. So if we get an extension to the downside or the upside by Wednesday, and you get into any position, you obviously run the risk of that getting hammered in one way or the other. So what I would like to see is an RSI extension happen off the back of the news, ideally. But it is an ADR hit today. Whoops. You've already had your 5-minute reversal alert, which is just triggered off of ADR. So there you go. There's your hit into ADR. There's your reversal alert. And it's retesting at the moment. So potentially this is the higher leg of a W pattern reversal. So looking for a push back up somewhere into this range, really, to get out if you want to take that one. So that's a pretty good one. There's no real directional bias on it. You're bang in the middle of a range, so it could go either way. Obviously, if you take that as an ADR reversal long and you can't get a TP on it, get out, or you can turn it into a position trade and get an additional position on if it comes down to that weekly low, which is 3 weeks ago. Euro Swiss has also hit to the downside. You haven't had a reversal alert on that yet. It's literally just hit ADR and bouncing off of ADR. So that'll be your reversal alert again for a trade up. Long term on this one, again, pretty similar. We've 3 weeks now. Absolutely nowhere. You're towards the bottom of the range, so this isn't a bad place for a long. We've bought this area 3, 4, 5 times, 6, 7. Yeah, I mean, they buy this area is being bought up all the time. Realistically, though, there's not a massive amount of upside on it. So Euro Swiss looks pretty good for a long opportunity if you want to take an ADR reversal. So nice ADR reversal opportunity there as well. Wait for the 5-minute reversal alert to go in. Wait for a confirmation that we've actually got some buyers on board. RSIs, we didn't have any this morning. We had pound US dollar this morning. That was the only one we had, which was extended on the 4-hour and the hourly. That is still extended. Not gone anywhere on the indices yet. They're looking bearish, though. Sort of. We'll have a look at it in a minute. So pound US dollar, that is still extended on the 4-hour to the upside. So we are gradually grinding up. As you can see, we've got divergence on this short. All the US dollar, most of the US dollar pairs at the moment have got divergence. So this is what worries me about these US indices. The US dollar has been dropping, as you can see. Everything's been rallying against the US, which has been rallying the US indices. We are due a profit take move both on the US dollar weakness and the indices. So I'm just kind of waiting for a catalyst to kick this US dollar into touch a little bit. First news we've got is the consumer confidence tomorrow afternoon, but the first proper news we've got is GDP on Wednesday afternoon. And then we've got unemployment claims, and we've got the unemployment rate for the Canadian as well, and the PMIs on Friday. So it's quite a lot of US dollar news every day this week. Apart from today, we've got US dollar news. So there's a lot of opportunity for this US dollar to receive some good news and power up. If that does power up, that will drop the indices, and we are definitely due a pullback on those indices at the moment. So that's extended to the upside. That's also extended on your hourly as well. It's just rolling over now. Was extended this morning. So you've had your reversal alert on that on 15-minute. Not yet, actually. Sorry. You would have had one this morning in there. So that would have been a reversal alert this morning. That one got invalidated by a new high. So there's your next reversal alert. Literally just about to go in the next 7 minutes, potentially, which means you've had a 5-minute reversal alert. And a retest. So that one's coming down nicely at the moment. Euro pound also extended on the 4-hour. To the downside, again, this is range bound. We're coming down to range lows at the moment, which is this old accumulation here. If I go out a little bit further. So we've got this nice area of balance. We sat in that for 2 weeks, kind of up there a little bit as well. But we retested those highs, put a new high in, formed a new range. So this is range low, basically. This is our new range low. So we pushed up. We had an accumulation, price discovery, new, price discovery, new. Yeah. So if we're going to continue on that vein, you'll be looking for longs from there. So just about extended, though, not very deeply extended. There's no hourly extension on it at the moment. So that's Euro pound, and Aussie US is the only other one. Again, 4-hour. Oh, it's already played out. So that was your 4-hour RSI extension. It just about touched it. That's going to be invalidated. I've got into another short on that one this morning. So looking for a retest, basically, these lows. If we are going to keep that CPI move on the US dollar intact, be looking for a retest of that area. But we could obviously come all the way down there, depending on if we get that US dollar news. If we get lots of positive numbers from the US, obviously they'll undo all these moves for the last couple of weeks. But you can see there's been no confidence really in selling the US. It's been weak. There was your CPI move. But the market then sat there for 3 days, decided it wanted to go against the US a little bit. And then we've sat there for 5 days, not really knowing what to do. So since the CPI numbers, we've literally had 2 moves go in. No real push or anything. So very difficult to call this US still at the moment. Indices are stuck. Looking very, very long on the Dow. NASDAQ also now looking a little bit more bullish. We've got a lower high going in and a lower low on the Dow. So who knows today? Mess. What a mess. Finished the bootcamp session for the second time and now setting up the market reversal at CA. Cool. Afternoon, Neo. Yeah, so my positions I've got on at the moment, banked 1% on Friday, which was one of the CAD Swisses. So I took an aggressive drawdown control position on CAD Swiss because I wasn't here on Friday. Obviously, that was the day it decided to rally because I wasn't here. The plan was, that was my TP. The plan was when I TP'd on that to do drawdown control. Obviously, I wasn't here. So by the time I spotted it in my hotel room, we were back down at the high of that range. So I didn't get a chance to actually act on it. So all I managed to do was bank 1%, which wasn't the actual goal. The goal was to do some DD control. But anyway, so banked that. US dollar CAD I got out of this morning. So that was a straight out, easy 0.25%. That's just sitting around today. So that came out of the propulsion gap, which is why I took it off. So that propulsion move there, that accumulation break to the downside, got in long with the EA, and then I saw that rejecting this morning. So I exited in anticipation of another drop on the US, but we haven't had it. We're just sideways. So market's crap today. We've got a bit of movement intraday, but not, nothing really directional. It's just a lot of whipping about. A lot of orders going in after the Thanksgiving break. So we'll have to wait a couple of days really and just see what direction we start to head in. But no other RSI extensions worth getting into any positions on. I've been bored this morning. I've been doing some EA development this morning on a hedging strategy that I've been working on in Forex, which is actually pretty good. Getting some very good results with it. But I've been testing, it's basically kind of a martingale hedge. I hate that word, martingale. But it is a martingale hedge. I was just testing what the impact of martingale was on hedging, just out of curiosity. Part of my research with the stock index hedge strategy. And I've accidentally come across a strategy which I think has got some legs for multiple currencies. So I'm working on that at the moment. But and it uses ADR basically. So it will get out within a certain amount of trades. So I'll update you on that if anything comes of it, but I'll be working on that all morning, which has been quite interesting. Friday's close holding the NASDAQ down. The weight of orders is holding the NASDAQ down. Not going anywhere, is it? It's just stuck. Everything's stuck. Load of volume and then a load of hot air. A bit like the Japanese. A lot of talk, no action. To do with Forex, not Japanese in general. I like the Japanese people, especially their food. But the Bank of Japan, I mean. On fast opens, do you think having stock index hedge on VPS would help? No. Wouldn't make any difference. If your VPS was next door to your broker has an execution time. So it's a myth. A lot of these firms that sell VPSs play on the fact that they've got multi-locations. So if your broker's server is in Frankfurt, we'll give you a Frankfurt-based server. that cuts your execution time down from half a millisecond to maybe a third of a millisecond. Not going to make any difference. The amount of time it takes your broker to receive, process, and execute an order has got very little to do with the server. It depends if you're an A book or a B book client. It depends on whether they are filling your liquidity or not. It depends on volume and throughput through the server at the time. There's a lot that goes into it. So I've tested on VPS. I've got 2 accounts running with the same broker here. That one got executed on 2 orders. That one got executed on 1 order. There's nothing you can do. It's as fast as you can get, really. Speed of your PC. Somebody messaged me on Friday while I wasn't here, saying that their EA is leaving stop losses. Literally, it leaves all the stop losses in because it places a stop loss and removes a stop loss. You can see there it placed the stops and then it removes them immediately. He's running on a let's just say the PC, I would say, is probably a decade old. The technology, it ain't going to work. You're going to need something with a little bit of beef. i3, i5 processors plus. Yeah, it's not going to work if you're trying to get something to execute on a PC that is a massive bottleneck between you and your broker. There's very little you can do about order execution. As I'm learning trading this strategy a lot more now. Sometimes back, you were working on some gold London Open strategy. No, I was never working on a gold strategy. Don't trade gold. And there's no open for gold. Somebody messaged me a kind of false breakout strategy to do with the Asian session, which I was going to build an EA to backtest, which I haven't got around to yet. But there's no open to gold. Gold just moves when it needs to move, and most of the time with the US dollar. So you'll find there's not a time of day specifically that gold moves. This morning, gold decided to move at 3 a.m. It decided to move at 1:15 on Friday. Thursday it didn't because it was Thanksgiving. Day before that, it kind of woke up a little bit around 6 o'clock in the morning. That day, it was the New York Open. It decided to move. Yeah, so I mean, every single day, it's a different time. You can't base a time-based strategy on something that doesn't have a time. It doesn't work. Ranges you can use, obviously. You could use the Asian range, but don't know. It's testing. I'm going to do some testing on that. My stock index hedge has taken 12 trades on the 3 indices. Does that sound right? Nope. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, no, that is right. Yeah. So if it's traded all 3 if you've traded 3 indices, yeah, it takes 2 trades long, 2 trades short. That's 4. If it hedges, that is. Have you watched the Forex hedging strategies on YouTube? No. I haven't watched any hedging strategies on YouTube. I'll have a look at those. The Forex hedge. Probably a stupid question, but could you enter a long and a short at the same time, at the same level, and take profit on the profitable one? Yep, you could. But which one's the profitable one? Think about what you're saying. If this was the open, for example, and you went long there and short there, and price moves up, where do you take that off? You're better off having some kind of range and hoping that you get a clean break to target. And then if you don't get a clean break to target, deal with the hedge. That's the whole edge of the stock index hedge strategy, is that 35% of the time you're getting a clean break, you're making money easy without doing anything. Deal with the hedges. If you hedge everything, you basically every morning you're waking up to a nightmare, aren't you? Oh my God, which way is this going? You might as well just use a stop loss. So yeah, post hoc, if you've got hedged on all three today, yeah, you will have 12 trades on. Have you watched the video about the strategy, about the EA? You should know that's correct if you've watched it. Takes 2 trades long, 2 trades short. One is a runner and one is a quick scalp. Why you have TP1 and TP2, because it takes 2 trades. Okay, looks like we're trying to break long. So we're just coming up to retest pre-market highs on the NASDAQ. Close on the S&P. DAX rather, literally gone nowhere. This morning I went through every FX pair and just had a look through them all. I'm not going to do that again, but if anybody's got any FX pairs specifically they want to have a look at, US dollars just rallied. So that might put a little bit of pressure on the indices. If anybody's got any FX they want to look at, let me know. I'm talking about FX, i.e. position trading. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, that's what the hedging strategy does. So sort of. So the H1 hedge strategy for the market reversal alerts EA obviously hedges. Which one's the hedge? That one, I think. When the VPS wakes up. So what the H1, oh my God, come on. Whoever it was told me about allocating a processor to each MT4 terminal. It doesn't make the blindest bit of difference. In fact, this is taking longer. Oh my God. Come back to that in a minute. So yeah, basically the H1 hedging strategy for the market reverse alert CA, basically it takes every reverse alert. So it would have gone short there. And when that reversal kicks in, it will go long. And obviously it will have a TP. So it will get out of one and then it will position trade that one. So, but there's no point in literally opening your terminal and saying, right, I'm long and short. Yeah, wait for a reversal alert, go long. If you're wrong and it breaks down and gives you a reverse alert in the other direction, go short. Then get out at a point when you get a new reversal alert. And then you can re-hedge. But that's just hedging, normal hedging strategy. This is not working at all. This has really broken my VPS. So I was looking for basically this VPS, and the terminal that I've got running was very slow. So somebody recommended allocating each MT4 to a single CPU processor, which I've done, but this seems incredibly slow now. Whoa. Sorry, one sec. I'm closing the shorts on the Dow. Just had a massive rally out the highs on the NASDAQ and the S&P. Big dump of orders got in long there. So I'm assuming that these guys, based on that volume, we had that massive spike at the open. And we've just had another big order placed. Really big rally just gone in on the NASDAQ. So I'm hoping that's going to drag the Dow with it. So I'm just closing those shorts. I'll re-hedge it if that doesn't work out. But there's big order just gone in there. We haven't broken out the S&P, but we have broken out the NASDAQ now. It's new high of the day on the NASDAQ. We've also just had a massive move there. That's the home sales. No, it can't be the home sales. That was 3 o'clock. Bear with me a sec. ECB keeping a close eye on exchange rates. Oh, ECB doing a Japan look. I'm not quite sure why Lagarde is talking. She can't still be talking. She started an hour ago. So I'm just going to see if we can get a rally started on the NASDAQ and the S&P. Hopefully that's not just a false move. If it is, I'm going to re-hedge, which will just bank a loss today, basically. But we'll see what happens. What was I talking about? Sorry, going hedging. Yeah, so this that's what I was looking at, wasn't it? The VPS. Sorry, I'm not with it today. First day back and all. That was the wrong decision. Just going to see how far this pulls back. They're all pulling back. So this one on here, this is what I was trying to look at, the hedging set file. So the hedging set file basically is doing pretty much what you said, Alan. So it's taking every reversal out on the hourly time frame. It's banked 46% this month. It's sitting in 20% of drawdown, but this is the account that is always in drawdown, because obviously this is the downside to hedging. When you hedge, you are always going to be wrong. So you will always be in loss and always be in drawdown. You will always bank. And as long as that is higher than that, you can't go wrong. However, just literally going long and short for the sake of it doesn't make sense. But waiting for the market to give you a sign that one party has taken control does make sense. And that's what this set file does. So, and the set file that not the set file, the strategy that I've been working on for hedging basically works on the principle of ADR movement as well. So we basically look for a way to get into an ADR break of a set size and use a lot multiplier to get out of that hedge. So what I've been testing is how often, and this is the problem with any type of martingale style hedging, which are very, very popular because they look really good on paper until they're not. But the problem with any type of martingale style hedging is when you get situations like that. So you would go long, you would go short. You would go long, you would go short. Let's say you went long again there, you would go short. So you're now locked in 6 positions. So 6 times your hedge value multiplied by your martingale multiplier equals your drawdown. If that doesn't break more than 2.5 times the size of your hedge, you get to a point where you don't go anywhere, don't make any money, and sitting drawdown for a long time. If you do that on 5 to 6 instruments at the same time, it goes wrong. So you've got to be very careful with the way that you hedge and the size of the multiplier. So the testing that I've done this morning for hedging has shown that as you would expect, martingale, which is 2, which is doubling your risk every single trade. Yeah, so that one there. So they hedge lot multiplier 200 is martingale. So you can see the martingale one gives by far the highest profit. Yeah, so 22.5 grand. This is over a 6-month test, so it's not a long test period. I'm just trying to gather data at the moment. Yeah, so another one there, 34 grand. Funnily enough, 2 times multiplier. 14 grand, 1.6. That's not quite so bad. 28 grand, 1.8. So I've been doing all this testing. The sweet spot is around about 1.4 to 1.6. So it's not full martingale. It's a 1.5 times multiplier. What that means is you can survive up to around about 12 trades before you will get to a danger point. So what I've done is I've done testing on a 10K account with a 1.5 multiplier, and it makes profit every time. But the figures you get in testing are totally wrong. So if I show you a test quickly. So let me run this test. So this is just running from the... Yeah, so if I run a test on this, this is basically a hedging. I don't want to call it martingale. It's a lot multiplier. It's not martingale. Martingale is 2. Martingale is death, which is what I'm testing, death. Making sure that death is still there. It's still there. But this basically makes money very, very, very nicely. But if you stop the test, you get a drawdown of, I've only done 1.97, 1.94, but you get drawdowns which are up to 30, 40, 50%. They're not. So what I've done is I've retested those periods and those tests where it gave me these ridiculous drawdowns just to see how it was getting into drawdown. And you can see up here, this lower number, that is the maximum drawdown experienced on the account. Yeah. So I had a test which showed there was a 54% drawdown on account. When I actually ran the test, the maximum drawdown it went into was just about $300 on a 10K account. But what MetaTrader does when it does its testing, which is quite right, is it takes the maximum loss trade. When you're using any kind of multiplier, obviously the lot size is getting big. So we had a 5-point-something lot, which made a loss of somewhere around about 4,000, but mixed in there was a hell of a lot of profit as well. So the actual maximum drawdown was very, very small. So I've been testing this and retesting it in visual mode, and it makes a lot of sense, which is why you see that the H1 hedging strategy here, that drawdown looks quite bad, but it's a lot of that is locked in. It's not going to be able to go too much further than that because it's always going to be long when it's short. So it's always going to be making money when it's making loss. So every time it makes a profit, it closes a loss. So that might look horrendous, but it's not, because we've actually banked 47 grand already. So what's our actual drawdown? 4K. Not a lot, is it? But on paper, that looks awful in a backtest. So it's a very hard thing to backtest as well, hedging. But as you can see, look, it's $159. So it's, it's banking nicely. It's banked $140 or something. 159 in DD. But if you look at the actual backtest results, 159, it says it went 187 into drawdown. It hasn't gone anywhere near that, has it? It's done 159. And that figure does actually get bigger when it gets into a little bit more of a whippy market. So, but if you want to do hedging, the market reversal alerts EA, there's already a set file out there for it for FX. And it does it very nicely because it gets on board when the buyers are there. These indices have stalled, unfortunately, at the moment. So we are in a pullback into propulsion at the moment, which at the minute is holding. The Dow is looking actually, typically because it's the one that I'm in, is looking a lot heavier than the others at the moment. So we're hoping that is going to be a structure break to the upside. But obviously, at the moment, we've made a new low on the Dow. So the Dow is struggling a little bit more than the rest at the minute. So my hedge I need to get out of is that far. So that is my locked-in loss. So to make a profit, basically, I need to get just above yesterday's high, 1.5 R. That will lock in profit today. So we'll see if we can get a move to the upside. If it breaks down again back below this low, I'll re-hedge it. Might be a bit of a nightmare today. We got so much volatility from Thursday and Friday to go through the markets today. It might be a bit of a pain in the backside today. Is it best to use a pound as a base currency if you have a UK bank account, or does it not matter? If you can get it, the only way you'll get a pound-based account is if you use a UK-based broker. If you use a UK-based broker, you're only going to get 1-to-30 leverage. So you'll find it hard to find an overseas broker that will let you deposit in sterling. So your best bet is to use dollars. There's no any currency. You can use any currency as your base currency. The main currencies are pound, euro, and dollar for deposit. So most brokers will allow you to deposit in those three currencies. However, obviously, pound mainly be for UK brokers. So you get stuck with the US dollar the majority of the time. But if you want to go into like a scalping account where you don't need high leverage, then yeah, you can. Pound is better to go with if you've got UK. No conversion rates. However, saying that, you are trading in the dollar on the US indices all the time anyway. That hedging set file seems to double an account every 3 months or so, yeah. This is a pain in the back. So this is why I didn't want to get out of the shorts. I reckon this is going short today. That was always going to be a risky one, but saw the volume and went with it. So yeah, so that hedging set file, keep an eye on that over there. Yeah, I mean, it's this was a 100K account when it started. It's a test. And it is now 250K. So it's 150% increase since it started, which was in September the 1st. So September, October. No, that's a rebate. No, it wasn't September. When did I start this account? But yeah, it's 150k up. It's just not real. It's just. I'm going to have to shut these down and reallocate them to their own processes. Rehedging the DAX, the DOW, sorry. Locked in a bit more loss on that. Give me a sec. Put some trades on over there. That's just a demo account. That I don't trade hedging. Don't do hedging. It's too risky for me. The reason I'm running that as a test on the VPS is to test it. I want to see what its breaking point is. I haven't managed to break it yet. I can't remember when I started it. I have to go back through the live rooms. January, February, March, April, May, June. I can tell you when I started it. It was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. July, August, September, October, November. 4 months, 150%. So yeah. But I'm stress testing it. I've got a feeling there might be more stress. Oh, you're kidding me. I've just rehedged the lows, basically. It's my first day back. It's got to give me a break. It's all going wrong today. What you just said about the fact that you'll take the opposite sides of losing trades too, and that mean your DD won't go past a certain level, has got my hedging feelings tingling again. The part of the testing that I'm doing here is to determine how many hedges you can stand with each multiplier variation. Yeah. So the ideal is like this trade. No, not that trade. The ideal is you get a clean break. Yeah. So if you get a clean break, it's not going to give me a clean break now, is it? But when you get a clean break to 2.5R, those are the days that make the profit. The idea of the hedge is to stop the loss. It's not to make a profit. The idea of the hedge is to make a very small amount of money or a small amount of loss. Yeah. So it's the same as the stock index hedge strategy in the fact that when you get a clean break, you just bank so easy and it's really easy money. When you don't get a clean break, you hedge it and you go for either a break even or a small amount of money. So the edge of a hedging strategy is loss recovery, not profit. So this is just not going to do a clean break, is it? We haven't had one yet. Again, I'm testing a different time period here. So, but all of these trades are making a profit. Yeah. So $1, we're up to $3. Small loss there. $40, $80, $87. Yeah. So when we get hedged, the idea is we just want to get out. We're wrong. Yeah. The question is, what time do you start your hedge and what do you use as a hedge? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find an intraday strategy, and the idea of this strategy is going to be exactly the same as the SIH strategy in the fact that you use a portfolio approach. So you trade something like the US dollar CAD, the pound US dollar, the Aussie dollar yen, for example, and say New Zealand dollar Swiss. Yeah. So you've got 4 instruments. All 4 of those instruments are going to move at different times of day during Asia and during New York and during London. And probably stick a euro pair in there, like euro something. Do the US or do euro CAD probably. So if you take those 5, if you get a clean break on a couple of them and the hedges on the others, the clean breaks make you easy money. The hedges make you small money or small loss. Yep. But those clean breaks across these. So if you get hedged on all of them, the worst case scenario is you're going to lock in a small amount of fixed loss. The ones that break, you're just going to make loads of money on. I'm testing something completely different here, which is why this is not getting any clean breaks at all. Part of my testing is to find out what doesn't work. Yeah. And although this has, you can see this has not had one single winning trade yet that has just broken cleanly. Yeah, it's still managed to bank. And now it's crashed for some reason. What happened there? I don't know what that was. Ah, right, here you go. So, this is part of the testing the limits. How many trades can you withstand using each multiplier before you get to the point where you run out of margin? This one is that level. So it's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 trades. Yeah. Look at that. Short, long, short, long, short, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. This is where it dies. Any kind of multiplier, you're dead. So this is what I'm testing, is to find where the tolerances are of the strategy with each multiplier. And if you were even in a position where you had multiple wins on that day, the hedges would have blown the account within 48 hours. Yeah. So there are downsides to it, but most of the set files that I've found in the testing that work are using much lower multipliers and wide hedges. So you're using roughly half an ADR as a hedge. Yeah. So you're giving price a load of time to wiggle about and then go for a break. If the break fails, let it wiggle about again. Yeah. So it's just an idea I'm working on. I'll have a look at that YouTube channel you recommended as well, because there might be something of use in there. But do you only recommend using MT4 even if the brokers are pushing towards MT5? Brokers aren't pushing you towards MT5. Well, my brokers aren't anyway. Use whatever you want. Use whatever you want. MT4, MT5. But if your broker is pushing you in, I mean, if a broker is, I've had this conversation many times in Telegram, many times in here. Everybody keeps saying, oh, they're not letting me use MT5. Ask them. MT4. They're not going to drop MT4. They can't. Yeah. If I said to you, no problem, we won't use MT4 anymore, we will just use MT5, but you will lose 90% of your revenue, would you say yes? No. MT4, 90% of its revenue comes from MT4, MQL5, yeah, MetaQuote software. 90% of their revenue comes from MT4. through broker revenue and through indicator and EA sales. If they decided not to do that anymore, they would lose 90% of their revenue, because you can't switch everybody over onto MT5 because 90% of the stuff doesn't work because it's crap. They're not going to stop you using MT5. And if your broker says we only use MT5 now, go like that, walk away and go and find one that does use MT4. That would be my advice. Would the reversal indicator work on indices? You can try it. I personally don't trade it because they trend too much. Outro. Wow. Wait, what? A new strategy? No, it's not. It's a test. As you just saw, it has a big Achilles heel. I'm just playing with the idea. I've gone down the hedging route in the past. In my 15-year journey, I've been through hedging. I've never found a strategy that works long term in hedging, which is why I don't do it. Portfolio hedging, I can see there's probably an edge there. Individual hedging, I haven't found a long-term strategy that works. But saying that, the market reversal alerts EA using that hedging strategy has been through 2 major squeezes, pound US dollar and another one, and it's absolutely fine. But that's using 0.1% risk. So with that hedging set file on the EA, it's been killing it for 6 months. Is there a certain amount of time after which you'd have to give in and run it live? It's outside of my comfort level. People are running it live. People are running it live now. It's all down to your tolerances. My tolerance is to be sitting in 20% of drawdown. No, not for me. If you've got, if you were going to put $5,000 or something in an account, yeah, and use it as a holiday fund, i.e., try and extract 20k out of it or something a year, yeah, but under the full guise of might lose that totally. Sorry, love, we can't have a holiday this year, or we can go to Disneyland this year. That's the sort of way that I would use a hedging, that hedging set file. It's proving itself to be very, very, very robust until it doesn't. But the thing is, it's using drawdown control, isn't it? So it is automatically doing its own drawdown control. So it's staying on top of its own drawdown. So when you have markets which are like that, or you have markets which are like that, it's absolutely fine. When you get a market like that, as we saw, or rather like that, as we saw in the pound US dollar a couple of months ago, the hedging set file made a loss of 9%. But it only made a loss of 9%. You've just seen it's just done 46% this month. It's done 30 to 40% multiple months. But when it has a bad one, it will lose money, like every strategy. There's always a condition in the market that a strategy won't work in. And with hedging, you will find it's a trend. Yeah, this is why these guys that run these hedging strategies, or they do hedging, yeah, suddenly go quiet when the market trends, because they are stuck in that hedge. And every time they hedge, that drawdown gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually it will get to the point where it goes, sorry, you have got no margin left. You can't hedge again. Oh, what do I do now? Buy. That's it. You die. Unless you're doing drawdown control along the way, which that is doing. But it's too aggressive for me, personally. But I know people are running it and they are absolutely killing it. I love it when people contact me in Telegram and they show me their P&Ls, and their P&Ls are better than my P&L. I know they've taken a lot more risk than me, and they might have over leveraged quite a bit, but that's everybody's risk tolerance, isn't it? And then I get the odd Telegram message from people saying, I've just blown 30% of my account. Right, now you know why the exposure rule is there. Have you turned on the yen pairs? No. Yeah, it was still turned off. Until I can see some kind of evidence of what is happening with the yen, which, as you can see here, there isn't. I'm not going to retrade the yen. I think the yen is going to power up. And I think possibly that is the first leg. And we are now going to start a move. But I want to see the leg start. The thing that concerns me is the US dollar. I'm still not convinced that the CPI move is actually going to hold. We haven't really had, we've had a week after CPI, and then we've had a week with Thanksgiving in it, which is very low volume. So I'm waiting to see this week if we get any more movement on the US. If the US gets bad news this week, that yen I think will power up, and then I will probably go short only on it. So I'll take all the RSI extensions to the upside on any yen pairs and short them, but I won't long against the yen. These indices are starting to try for new highs again. NASDAQ's trying a new high. S&P's not really getting anywhere. Dow, just not going anywhere, is it? We're stuck. But this certainly is that propulsion gaps hold. Look, we smashed through that, but we've held on the NASDAQ. So new highs on the NASDAQ. Shouldn't have re-hedged that. Never mind. Regarding the price action toolkit, do I pick my own magic number? Yeah. So different, every instance you have running of an EA has a unique magic so that it knows what trades it's managing. Blueberry Markets in Australia allows you to deposit in pound. You're in London. Cool. 1 to 200 leverage. Yeah, that's good. Goodish. Could do better, but 1 to 200's enough. As you've stated so many times, MT4 over MT5. Yeah, I mean, I don't know any different, Rajiv. But people keep saying to me, I've heard a rumor. Yeah, I've heard a rumor for the last 10 years MT4 is being discontinued. It's not. Because MT5 was a replacement for MT4 to go into the stock market. MT5 is crap at stock. Charting is awful. Everybody is using other charting software. So for them to dump their flagship product MT4 for their inferior product MT5 would just be commercial suicide for the company. And also for brokers. Yeah. So let's say, for example, you've spent $500 on MT4 indicators and EAs over a period of a number of years, right? And your broker turns around and says, sorry, no MT4, MT5 only. What are you going to do? Find another broker. So is it in that broker's interest to offer you as many platforms as they can to get you on board as a customer or keep you as a customer, or to force you in a direction you don't want to go and lose you as a customer? Bearing in mind, 75% of their customers go bust every month and they have to replace them with new ones. Brokers are not going to restrict you from trading on anything you want. They are desperate for your money. And MetaQuotes are desperate for money as well. Like I said, I haven't heard it. I've heard rumors constantly from people. I've never heard MetaTrader say that they're going to drop MT4. I've never heard a broker say that they're going to drop MT4. MT4 Mobile, I have heard them say they're going to drop it because they have to pay additional licensing fees for MT4 Mobile. And if you're a tiny broker that doesn't make any money, yeah, you're probably going to want to restrict your outgoings, but not the main terminal. This is just totally stuck today. So we're coming up to 1.5 hours, which is here in 15 minutes or so. We haven't gone anywhere at all. So I'm just going to leave that hedge on the Dow. Upside, there isn't really any of interest. So it would be ADR. If we could possibly get a run up to ADR, I'll take it. Downside, there's very little. I would probably go with the with just under 2R, which is the low of Thanksgiving last week, Thursday. That would be beyond ADR today. And as there's just no volume, if we can get 2R, I think we'd be lucky today. So that would be my downside. Upside, it's very difficult. So I think I might just lock a loss in on this. There's not a lot I can do with it really today. It's stuck fast at the moment. So it's a waiting game today. I'm thinking of starting another small account, kind of like what you're doing with the 1K account, with the SIH EA, but with the MRA and dialing it up to about 0.4. I haven't tried that, no. If you're going to dial it up to 0.4 risk, you're going to have to limit the number of pairs you go on to, because that is too much for running all pairs. So you'd have to restrict the number of pairs. Test it. You'll see what drawdown you go into. But again, if you're hedged on a pair, it can only drop you into a certain amount of drawdown because you're both long and short. Yeah, so if you're just doing a normal hedge and you go long with one and short with one, you are going to lock in -1 R. If you go negative 1.5 there and then go positive 1.75 there and then go 2.25 short there, obviously you are not just locked in at 1R. You are locked in at 2R, 3R, 4R, 5R, and it gets bigger. So if you use a lot multiplier, that's what I'm testing, you are going to lock in more risk than if you're doing something like the stock index hedge, where that is locked in now. Whatever that risk is locked in. I am exactly the same lot size short as I am long. It cannot go up or down anymore. So there's two different types of hedging. But what I'm looking at is a portfolio approach to it. So also shutting positions out at end of day is another thing that I'm looking at. So from an intraday perspective, trying to get a 0.1 hedge on, 0.1 ADR hedge on, and looking at the portfolio as a whole and trying to get a percentage out of the portfolio, which again is something very difficult to test. There's all sorts of ways of doing it. Can you remind me, please, that what you're showing us using Forex pairs is the H1 reversals? This is H1M5 strategy, yeah. The impressive thing about that set file is making those returns untouched, yeah. It doesn't know about the Bank of Japan. It's trying to drop the dollar, yeah. So it's trading completely untouched. That's what the test is. I want to see. It's a stress test, which is why it's running on that account. It's just to see what happens. And I'm seeing $150,000 of profit. But I'm also seeing $60,000 in drawdown at the moment. So realistically, it's clear 90K up, isn't it, in 5 months? 1 to 200 blows my mind. I'm trading 1 to 50. I've got 1 to 500. Those stats brokers have to display about 75% lose money with us. Is that based on a certain time period? Yeah, so it's every quarter. So by law, brokers have to update the notice on their sites using accounted, verified accounts, basically. So they have, that figure is the actual number of retail investor accounts over the last quarter that have lost money, i.e. have returned a lower P&L than 3 months ago. That is that figure. 75% of their customers have made a loss. And that is updated quarterly. You will see it change on your broker. %68 on IG. IC markets. Need to go to the UK version because they don't have to show it on the global. But the UK version of IG will also have the same thing. But yeah, it's updated regularly. But you won't find any that show a profit. I have a few UK accounts with 1 to 30, copy per trade between them. Yeah. Just shorted the NASDAQ 5-minute. Double top. Might do. Who knows today? Could do anything, couldn't it? That's actually not bad then. The 25% have a higher P&L quarter on quarter. Yeah. But that is just the last quarter. So what did they do before in the last quarter? Were they down or up? Yeah, you've got to look at it. A P&L can do that, can't it? But you're always going to have an average. So if you have a P&L that goes like that, there's an average line. Yeah, that number is very rarely going to fluctuate more than a few percent, because on average, 75% of them will be making a loss. Don't forget that is also accounts with them. Yeah, they will have large accounts in there as well who are established traders trading with them. Those will be the ones making money. I think you'll find that those 75% that they quote there, 74.9 of them will be retail. The rest of those 25% that are making money probably aren't the normal retailers. They're like me, guys sitting here eking money out of the market, but not making absolute fortunes, obviously. We all get in the same pot at the end of the day. Did I have a nice weekend? I did. Thank you, AZ. Yes. I went up the tallest building in London called Horizon 22. And I went up to the 58th floor in a lift, which took less than a minute and made your ears pop on the way because it went that fast. And you can see basically down on London. It was amazing. The Shard, which is the tallest building in London, was at eye level with us. Crazy. Very, very, very high. Not good if you don't like heights, obviously, but very good. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I've got nothing else really to cover today. This isn't moving, this market today. It's a dead end. It's going to be a lost day today, unfortunately. Can't get anywhere. Just stuck. So I'll see if we can get a break in one direction or the other. If it does break, I'll have a look at basically somewhere to get out. But excuse me, I think it's going to be like the DAX today. If I see the market go for a move, I will get out the other side. But right now, that's possibly a double top. Possibly that propulsion gap is holding. It's just not going anywhere, is it? We're stuck. So can't make money if the market doesn't move. Nothing you can do. Everything else I've got on at the moment is just sitting there as well. CAD Swiss, nothing's really moving today. We are kind of in a holding pattern at the moment. I was expecting a bit more volatility today, but we haven't got it. So as you can see, we've got 2 ADRs, and both of those have bounced, but not gone anywhere. So we're just stuck, aren't we? Everything's stuck. What was the visibility like? No, it's totally clear. I could see for miles. See all the football stadiums in London as well? Look at, I'll show you. Look it up. If you're in London, it's free as well. Go and check it out. London's highest free viewing platform. That's basically the view. Kind of want to pan around, but you haven't got a yeah. But yeah, I mean, you see some of these iconic buildings. You're higher than everything, basically. You can see the whole of the Thames. Amazing. And it's free. Can't beat that, can you? Totally free thing to do in London. Who'd have known? Check it out. If you're in London. Or coming to London. The fact that this is the New York session and you're probably all in America, it's probably unlikely. But if you do come to London, go and check it out. Apparently, Pops and John went Black Friday shopping. John Wick's got a gun. Follow my lead, Pops. Does that say that Xbox is? That's really annoying when it does that. Mine. Like it. That's a bit of a weird gun as well. Look. It's not only having problems with hands, it's having a little bit of a problem with guns as well, isn't it? He's kind of holding it weird, isn't he? Done a better job with that hand this time. Oh dear. Right, I'll leave it there. Nothing's moving, so just going to sit and wait today, basically. Come back tomorrow and see if the market's moved. So everything I'm in today, I'm in. I'm still in the same drawdown pretty much as this morning. RSI's not moving. ADRs, nothing. And indices stuck fast. So nothing we can do. So I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:50 for the Frankfurt session, 2:20 for New York tomorrow afternoon. I'll be in Telegram if you need anything. If anything happens, I will post in Telegram, but can't see it today, to be honest. EuroCAD's about the only thing I could possibly get out of today, which I've got on short, but that's going to need to go beyond ADR. So doesn't look like we're going to get anywhere, does it? So we'll see where we are tomorrow. All right. So have a good afternoon. I'll be back tomorrow, same times as usual. And Telegram if you need me. Have a good day.